Welcome to Advocation X, episode number 34. Time for a newsworthy broadcast. Before we begin, please hit the like button, become a member, subscribe to this channel, smash that bell. Make sure you don't miss any content going forward. Our disclaimer is that this channel is our opinion, but it is based on facts. So, the things I'd like to tackle today: conservatives and liberals. South Korea, the new numbers. Visiting, home, leaders, KKK and other white supremacists, choosing the risks over other people's health. So let me unpack that. If you feel that everything looks so comfortable in your world and that you don't need to isolate because you feel that this is a hoax, or that you are just too strong and immune to any of the results that everybody else seems to be suffering, you'd be wrong. Every time you go out for frivolous reasons, you are putting the entire neighborhood and area at risk. If you touch something that happens to contain the virus and you move that to another location, even if you don't attract it yourself, you're helping to prolong this isolation period for all of us. If everybody was capable of just following the rules properly, we could get this thing licked and get back to normal life. If things continue the way they are, with social gatherings and people meeting each other in the streets and chatting away and touching things and moving on and touching their face, it's just going to keep this thing in a circular motion where it's just going to keep ramping up and getting beat back. So please, stay home. Stay home. If you don't have to, go get medicine, food. Stay home. If you're a frontline worker, like I am at times, do your job and go back home. Don't take it as a license to just go tripping around, because you will then become part of the problem. So let me move on. South Korea. We are all in awe of how well they attacked this right up front. Really smashing that curve, bringing it to a flat level, where right now their new cases are declining in such a degree that recoveries are having a chance to catch up to the amount of affected, and not even currently affected, but the amount affected overall. South Korea has the right formula. We all need to follow that and fight so the world wins. Our cases worldwide are over 1 million cases now. Over 1 million total cases. You might think, oh, come on, but there's 7 billion people in the world. 1 million is nothing. With that 1 million cases, how many other people do you think are walking around you right now who are actually affected, that either have not yet found out or are only suffering mild to no symptoms but are spreading it to you, your family, your children, your parents, your grandparents? Don't take the numbers as being small. The contagiousness of this virus is huge. And you know, I'm talking about the crazy, super bad cold that we're suffering across the world right now. Now, I want to give you another aspect to think about before you go wandering around to go visit your friend down the road or around the corner. And well, you know, come on, they're clean, I'm clean, everything's good. When you hear the story of a young lady whose mother was admitted to the hospital very quickly, but they were hopeful that it was just regular breathing problems, etc., because she's had them before. When they took her in, she never came back out. And the family was not able to visit her. The heart-wrenching story of that poor young lady, telling the story of her siblings and her suffering with the weight of that loss and the inability to even spend a moment holding her hand before she passed on. Let that be enough to convince you to stay home. Just stay home. Remember in the old drug epidemic? Just say no. Just stay home. Just do it. Don't argue about it. Just do it. Don't take offense. Just do it. It's going to help in the long run. So let me move on. Right now, we're finding out in the US of A, just south of our border here in Canada, we have a real problem going on. You have people in the United States who would classify themselves as liberal. That doesn't mean Democrat, it just means they classify themselves as liberal. And you have those people south of our border who classify themselves as conservatives. That doesn't mean that they're Republicans. They could be libertarians. They could be even Democrats, but they feel that they are conservative. So if you take those two groups and you take a look at how they are addressing this super bad cold epidemic, what you find is when you poll these two groups, when you look at the actions of these two groups, those who are conservatives are taking this so much less seriously than the other groups identifying as liberals. The liberals are really buckling down, hiding out, doing everything they can to smash that curve. While so many, not all, so many of these conservatives are running around saying it's a hoax. I'm going here anyway. It's a family gathering. It's been planned for 2 years. We're going anyway. It's a beautiful day. We're going to the beach today. When next will we have a chance to actually see the beach? Well, you may have made that your last chance to see the beach by going out and exposing yourself to all those people. So, not asking you to become a liberal, but could you just act like one and help this thing go away? No, I'm not infected, that I know of, but I'm socially distancing myself from everybody. So, let's move on to the next part of this. In south of the border in the US of A, it is now known, it has now been uncovered, there will be charges being laid. Things are about to explode. You have these white supremacist groups in the US of A who are getting their members who are testing positive for the super bad cold and telling them to go out and infect other groups of people. Now, there's an example that could be one of these. I don't know yet, and I'm sure the investigation will uncover exactly who this person was. But people were attending a funeral service which they shouldn't have been doing. I granted they should not have been doing, but they were grieving for the loss of a member. And somebody who had occupied a spot in 2 separate funerals that really nobody knew happened to be at those funerals and infected tens of people. Infected like 37 people in one spot, and I don't know how many others in the other. I don't understand you people. You don't call that terrorism? You don't call that domestic terrorism and treat it like you would some Al-Qaeda member coming into your midst and blowing you up? To tell you the honest truth, I'd prefer to be blown up and die quickly than to have to go through that and watch my loved ones go through that and die. Those people should all be charged with attempted murder. And if anybody of those groups do die, then it should be first-degree premeditated murder. Whatever charges fit that sort of scenario, they should be laid. Every one of them, to the best of the authorities' ability. These people need to be stopped. And if you support those people, I feel sorry for your mindset. I feel really sorry for you. You can't have a soul if you're okay with watching people do this to other people on purpose. If you were ignorant and you had no clue and you stumbled into a place and you happened to be infected and you passed the infection on, I give you forgiveness. And I'm sure God will forgive you as well. If you call yourself a Christian and you're supporting these people, I don't call you a Christian. And if you think when you walk into Jesus' space, he's going to look at you and say, "My child," I think he turns his back on you, is my guess. And of course, you know this channel is opinion. So my opinion is you're going to get shunned. And if there's a door, you might meet the door face first. So please, folks, if you know people like this, you need to turn them over. You need to flip their mindset. You need to help them understand that what they're doing is wrong. And if you don't do that, you're just as much to blame. It's called an accomplice. Even by omission, if you sat there and heard somebody talk about robbing a bank and they're going to do it on Friday and you do nothing about it, you're an accomplice. You're an accessory. You allowed that to continue without any intervention whatsoever. So basically, you're complicit. And so it is with the super bad cold situation. So please, folks, do your part. Right now, the US of A is leading the world. They have a tiny portion of the population of the world, yet they are leading the world in cases, and I believe they surpassed in deaths as well. Please, for your own sake, wake the heck up. Stop acting like you're something better than anybody else. Has this not yet taught you that you are no different than the immigrants you try to interfere with, the immigrants you taunt and bully and complain about every day? I think you need to rethink your mindset. Get things under control. Seriously. Anyway, folks, please leave your comments in the comment section. We're open to all comments, including critical analysis. Smash the like button, subscribe, become a member, smash the bell, don't miss another episode. So, folks, as things go, in my own tradition, Never give up and never give in. But please keep an open mind. Gather that knowledge, because the knowledge is your power. You can use that power for good. So once again, thank you very much for spending time here on this channel with me. And we hope to see you often and regularly.